Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope you enjoy the content that you're about to see. LPB Super GT season, round 6 from Suzuka. This is race 1, the sprint race. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB Super GT Championship on GT Sport. This is round 6 of the championship. We are at Suzuka for the penultimate round of the Super GT Championship by LPB Racing. Let's take you through the grid then for the sprint race here. It is Seek 1 in the Calsonic Nissan who takes pole position here. Remember, he's running weight free in this one, so this could be very interesting for him in his championship chances. Uncle in second place in the Honda, with Stevie in the Raybrigg Honda in third place. A good qualifying for him. Intrepid in fourth position in the Lexus, with Darren Els back again in fifth place, but this time he's covering for Will in the Zent Lexus, so he's just running one of the wildcard liveries. Then it is Firepower sixth place on the grid. A good qualifying for Firepower. He's getting faster and faster as the season goes on. He's ahead of Keith in seventh. We've got Blake in eighth place on the grid, with Jamo in ninth. He's the first of the weight runners in ninth place. He's on 40 kilos for fifth in the championship. Brad is 10th. He's weight free, with Bidster in 11th. He's actually second place weight in the championship, 160 kilo. Good qualifying for him as well. Rodders in 12th in the second Motor Tech car. And then it is Neil Farmack in 13th place in the Wakos Lexus. He's running third place ballast, 120 kilo. Red Bull in 14th, not a good qualifying for him at all. He joined a bit late, so yeah, only had one lap to get in. And then we got Bert in 15th place. He is covering for the Cyrex, who was not here, so I was trying to think of the Craft Sports team. Cyrex, he's covering for him, so good to see Bert on here. And Techno in 16th place in the Lexus at the back after the win last time out. He's carrying maximum ballast, so not surprised to see him at the back. So then, there's seat 1. There's the rest of the grid going back down through 130R. See there, goes all the way back down towards the back. Techno's in the wall. Techno's car's glitched and the AI is making it go around in circles. So that's not good. Techno's stuck there, and he'll have to. Well, hopefully he might get control back as we get going. But seat 1 then goes round. Here we go. Here we are. The start of the race is off. Unfortunately, it spreads us out a bit too much, but don't worry, future rolling starts after the championship will be done with actual manual formation lap, and we'll do it manually. So, seat 1 then in the lead into turn 1, Uncle second, running wide in second place, throws second place away straight away, goes wide in the Autobax Honda, and rejoins in 5th place with Firepower keeping him company. As we go further back, we've got Blake down there, then everyone else still in their grid position from the start. And then we go back all the way to Techno. He's not even started the race yet. Now he has. He started the race now, but Techno then unfortunately down right back of probably about 15 seconds off of 15th place already. So not good for Techno there. The game well and truly screwing him over. So seat 1 then in the lead in the Calsonic Nissan into the second Degner under the bridge of this figure of 8 layout of Suzuka. And there's Darren looking a lot more competitive in the Lexus this time. And obviously weight free as well, because obviously Cyrex's points been done by these guys at the minute, but these guys are just stand-ins, and Cyrex is down at the moment in 10th in the championship. So Uncle then pressurising Darren here after making a mistake at turn 1, rather embarrassingly, but hopefully he can make amends for that. Further up we've got Blake and Jamo together. Jamo in the Zent Lexus looking for some more points here. He's the first of the weight runners with 5th place weight, 40 kilos on the number 98 Zent Lexus. We'll have to see what he can do as the race develops. Bidster there with second place weight on, so he's 160 kilos on his car. He'll probably just try and do the best to scrape all the points he can in this one. Further up the front then, it is Intrepid under pressure from Darren and Uncle. So third place looking under threat here. Darren has a look down the inside, but no, can't quite do it. That would have been very, very foolish to go through with that move, because it was from very far back, and that would have been quite naughty really from doing a lunge from that far back, but Darren settles in for 4th, and Uncle then just waiting in the wings, waiting for something to happen. Unfortunately, it seems like the rolling start at Suzuka spread out the field a bit already, but hopefully the guys can draft up to each other without using any stupid DRS or electrical systems, and just use the pure engine power and driver skill to actually close up to each other and race properly. And Blake, Jamo and Keith are about to start doing that because they're closing up to each other, so that's one battle to watch. As Firepower, Uncle and Darren are still together, so Intrepid sort of pulled away a little bit, and it looks like Darren might have made a mistake, and Uncle goes through on the inside of the big uphill curve and goes through straight into 4th place. Darren then left with Firepower for company now, so Uncle not messed about after his little faux pas at turn 1 on the first lap. So he's going to try and do what he can do, see what he can do. Keith has got Blake and Jamo behind him as well. Into the hairpin they go. There goes Blake with Keith just ahead as he gets a good run out of the corner, but Keith gets the foot down with the mid-engined Honda NSX, the Braybrig one, the Braybrig Honda NSX. Motorlaw Technissan following behind with Jamo in the Zent Lexus in 9th. We've got poor old Techno right at the back of the grid, but we'll still just we'll catch up with him later on. As seat 1 then coming up towards the 130R, he's actually coming under pressure from Stevie already, so watch out for Stevie in this race. He could be a threat. The Braybrig the Honda started off very bad at the start of the season with the first 2 races. Before the game did an update to the car because the mid-engine cars were just absolutely appalling to handle. They just handled like absolute tanks, or basically like a tank on ice. So not very good at all, but now they handle a lot better, and obviously the drivers can get more out of them. You can actually drive it properly right at the rear end, doing what it wants. So Stevie then in 2nd place, putting the pressure on seat 1. Uncle almost went wide again at turn 1, just running it in a bit too hot. Darren just behind him in 5th. There's Firepower, and there's Keith, Blake and Jamo. Jamo right behind Blake now, putting some more pressure on the Motorlaw Tech car in the Zent Lexus. There he is in the Zent Lexus as we go through the left, left section at the start of Suzuka, the Suzuka curves. And a very unique bit of racetrack. Not the easiest place to overtake Suzuka. You've got to really plan your overtake. Like here, Jamo gets a good run up the hill. He could get side by side before the first Degner, but he's not going to be able to get alongside anyway. But he won't really be able to get through at the next corner anyway. So do we know Jamo likes to plan out his moves, and we'll see if he can calculate a way past Blake. Looks like he's got the pace, so we'll have to see if we can do anything about it. Meanwhile, Bidster's flashing his lights at Bradders. Bidster with the weight on. He's actually doing very well here. He's managing the weight well, the reigning champion, and putting Bradders under some pressure here. The Wacos Lexus coming under pressure from the Calsonic Nissan, and the other Calsonic Nissan at the front of the field, trying to keep Stevie off him. So Stevie 1:49.9 last time round. We'll get a good gauge of the lap times this time round. There's Intrepid 3rd, Uncle 4th, Darren 5th, Firepower 6th. Here's the rest, Keith 7th. Then we've got Jamo in 8th now. He's past Blake, so he must have passed him into Spooner at the hairpin. He's passed him into one of the corners, and Jamo goes ahead into 8th place, and Blake goes down to 9th. Oh, Jamo, he's just defending the inside a little bit, just making sure he keeps out the draft. But now he's just defending the inside, making sure Blake's not going to go for any moves down the inside. A little bit of a puffer brake as they lock up, just under rotate one of the axles. And they go down to the start-finish line. Very fast pace in these cars around here. Excellent cars to drive. Let's have a look at the lap times. 150.1 for Seat, 149.8 for Stevie goes faster again. There's Intrepid Uncle with Darren putting them under pressure now. Firepower not too far behind. And then there's these lot. Jamo a little bit sideways at turn 1, but luckily holds on to the car. Oh, spinner further back, that's Rodders. Rodders has gone completely around at turn 1. He must have gone wide, put his wheel on the AstroTurf and lost complete control of the car. He waits for a sensible gap to rejoin. Just rejoins slowly, make sure everyone else can see him. And Bert and Neil Farmack go through, and Techno, we might as well just put up a tent and just have a little bit of a kit, because he's not going to make up any places here unless anyone disconnects. So unfortunately for him, the game ruined it for him earlier on with Gullich in the start as well. Stevie straight off at the hairpin. That is unheard of there. Must have had some kind of must have fell asleep or something. But missed his braking point completely, and now he's down to 5th place, possibly 6th if Firepower can get past. But now Stevie, he must have put the grass or something on the way in or something daft like that, and just clip the grass. Back end goes round and round he goes into the wall. But we'll get a replay on that later on as we go through Spoon Curve now. And Intrepid's got a bit of a queue behind him now because he's in second, and he's got everyone else wanting to be second. So Uncle Darren, Stevie and Firepower all behind him. Firepower again keeping it consistent in this one, proving he's good. He's got some good credentials here in this championship. Keith and Jamo together. Jamo trying to put the pressure on the Raybrigg Honda ahead through 130R. Let's have a look at the rest of them up into the chicane. Everyone holds fort. Everyone holds where the positions were. Here comes the rest. There's Keith, Jamo, Blake, Bidster, and Bidster's ahead of Bradders now. Bidster's ahead of Bradders. So Bidster trying to make up a few places here. Every single point counts towards the championship, and at the minute it's between quite a lot of them for the top positions. It's the top 8 in the championship are split between with 11 points between them. 11 points between 8 places. It's incredibly close in the championship. As we go through the first sector of track, the left-right section, very unique. Sort of like Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone, but a bit slower and a bit wider cut, a bit more flowing corners. And we go up the hill with Firepower there. And Stevie having a little look at Darren, but just putting a bit of pressure on the Lexus in front of him, the wildcard livery. But remember that he's technically Will's Lexus. Intrepid's off. Intrepid's run wide at the second Degner, and he goes wide. As they go under the bridge, Firepower's going to go through as well, and Intrepid goes straight down to 6th place. So Intrepid then makes a little mistake on the exit of the corner. That's all it takes. He goes wide and then drops down to 6th place, and everyone else moves up one. Keith, Jamo and Blake are still all very close together as well, with Keith holding on in the Raybrigg Honda ahead of the Zent Lexus of Jamo and the Motorlawtech Nissan of Blakeney there. And we go through Spoons, watching Intrepid. He's not like he's got many tyre problems, just a little mistake is all it takes. And Stevie now back up to 4th place. He'll try and attack Darren now if he can. Meanwhile, Seat 1 in the lead has got a nice comfortable gap in the lead of the race into the last chicane, and number 88 Carl Sonic Nissan looks comfortable in the lead. Uncle's now second, but everyone else wants a podium place as well. As Darren catches the grass a little bit there. Stevie has a little bit of a poke up the inside, but no way through past Darren in the wildcard livery Lexus, covering for Will, who cannot be here this weekend unfortunately due to internet troubles. So unfortunately Will can't make this one. Let's have a look at how Bert's doing as well. Bert is back in 13th place in the Nissan. He's covering for Cyrex, and who can't be here as well. For a few absentees this season, but it's good to get people replaced in the little hot seats. There's all Red Bull going over the line and pretty close to the pit wall. I don't know why. Oh, yellow flag ahead. Oh, we've had an incident. Jamo's off, and Keith as well. Keith and Jamo's had an incident, and they're off. And they're just getting going. But now Bids is ahead in 9th place as well. Bradders has gone back down to Bradders up to 8th, so it's all happened there. We've missed a few things there, but now Red Bull's right on the back of Jamo now, and there's definitely some action been happening there, and we'll get replays on that in a little moment. So let's look up here. Darren makes a mistake at the corner, and Stevie has to avoid him and has a massive tank slapper. It's all setting off in this race now. Firepower's up to 4th, challenging for 3rd around the outside as Intrepid goes up the inside of Firepower as he goes wide out the corner, but Firepower should be able to get the power on, and he does up the hill. Right, before any more drama happens, let's get some replays in that first half action. Here are the replays of the first half of the race. Okay, here's the first of the replays then. So you see Techno's car just goes possesses itself and starts, let's drive the wrong way around Suzuka. Oh no, let's try and go down over the side of the bridge. No, I tell you what, we'll just go backwards and we'll just try again. And then meanwhile, at this point, Techno gets control and he's like, what the hell's happening here? And puts it in reverse and then eventually gets going. But look, he's lost all that time there. The last car's already come out the last chicane and he's only just at 130R building up speed. Poor old Techno, and that Gran Turismo, you need to fix this. Here's a replay of something that happened between Red Bull and Neil. Watch this, Red Bull goes down the inside of Neil Farmight. Neil Farmight turns in and puts himself into the gravel trap, and it wasn't Red Bull's fault, but Red Bull still thinks he should wait because he's not sure whether it's his fault or not, and lets Neil Farmight go back through. We'll get another angle on that now. Okay, now here's a replay from on board with Red Bull here, so watch him go into the corner. And then, you see, we actually get alongside Neil Farmight. Neil Farmight's got plenty of time to see him. Then Neil Farmight just turns in on him, doesn't really leave much space, and Red Bull thinks it's his fault and lets Neil go, but that wasn't Red Bull's fault, that was Neil's fault for turning in on him. Here's something else that happened earlier with looking at Bert on the way out the chicane. She gets on the power on the curb and just loses the rear end of the car and almost ends up going into the pit lane, and luckily gets back on track safely, and Red Bull passes him for 13th place. Okay, now here's a replay of what happened to Stevie for him to spin at the hairpin. So we get a good run out of here. Everything looks all good so far, but watch the car's right-hand side. He brakes, hits the grass, and round he goes into the gravel and hits the wall. Now the other cars are coming, so he sensibly keeps right to the edge of the track to leave him space and gives himself room to rejoin, make sure everyone can see him, and then safely rejoins the track. Here's a quick replay of what happened to Rodders. Yeah, he just ran wide at turn 1, hit the AstroTurf and pirouettes off the track, spins the car around, and if that was real life, the car would have quite a few flat spots on it, uses all the AstroTurf and rejoins the track. And now here's the replay of what happened to Intrepid on board with Uncle, going through the first Degner. See there, Intrepid does alright through there, then brakes for the second one, just a little bit too late on the brakes, and then just runs it wide into the gravel and loses places. Okay, here's a replay of the Stevie and Darren battle on board with Firepower on lap 6. So going up towards the Degners. See Stevie on the grass just trying to look for a way through. He just needs to be a bit more patient. We go through Degner 1, and Darren carries a lot of speed, brakes into Degner 2, carrying too much speed onto the gravel. Stevie has nowhere to go, tries to avoid massive tank slap of him, and then Firepower goes through into 4th, and then as we brake for the corner, Firepower goes wide to give space to Darren. And then Intrepid sneaks his nose on the inside, but Firepower gets on the power and holds the place. Just before that happened, this happened between Jamo and Keith going down towards turn 1. Let's go on board with Jamo here and watch this. We go into the corner and we brake. Keith brakes a bit earlier because his tyres are going off and or starting to go off, and he hits him, and then he's trying to leave room for Keith to rejoin, but then Blake hits him as well. I mean, I suppose Jamo was trying to keep out of the way, but just an unfortunate incident there, and Jamo unfortunately hitting the back of Keith. Here's a second look at that on board with Blake. See there's the contact. Keith goes off. Jamo's trying to wait for him, but then Blake's like, okay, we'll just all stop and then we'll all go. That was the replays of the first half. Now back to the action. We come back from that, we go back to the racing action. It is Darren 3rd, Firepower now in 4th, Intrepid in 5th, Stevie in 6th. Oh, Darren runs wide on the exit of Spoon, and he's got to go on the AstroTurf on the grass, and down at 6th place he goes, and Firepower finds himself on the podium. Can he hold on to a podium place? But with Stevie's pace and Intrepid's pace behind, I'm not sure if he can, but we'll see if he can do it. But Firepower then up to 3rd place, Stevie then back up to 4th, Intrepid 5th, Stevie looking for a way past Firepower who defends the inside. He is not giving up this place. Stevie tries to go on the outside of him and get the inside for the next corner, but Firepower holds on. Ruthless defence there from Firepower, brilliant stuff. Stevie could not find a way around that Nissan, and Firepower showing his true fighting spirit in 3rd place, and Intrepid then in the draft of those two cars. Further back we've got, Bradders has spun round on the exit of the last corner. That's unheard of. He must have got slightly tapped or hit the grass or something, but Bert goes through, and it's all changing this race. It's all of a sudden this race has come alive and Bids in 7th. So let's just recap then the positions. We have got Seat 1 miles away in the lead. We've got Uncle in 2nd place. He's got a bit of a gap now on 3rd place, which is Firepower and Stevie in 3rd and 4th. We've got Intrepid in 5th. We have got Darren Ells in 6th place. We've got Bidster up to 7th after all the accidents and that. Blake 8th, Keith 9th, Bert 10th, Bradders in 11th, Jamo's now down to 12th with Red Bull 13th, Neil Farmack 14th, Rodders 15th, and Techno all the way back in 16th after being screwed over at the start by the game. But now we go back to the 3rd place battle. Lap 7 of 11 here at Suzuka. This is the sprint race, remember. We'll be doing a 22-lap feature race later on, so that could be quite endurance race, should I say. That'll be quite entertaining with the tyres and pit stops. Remember, in this race, soft tyres for every single car and no pit stops allowed, so you've got to get them tyres last till the end. And by the look of it, Firepower's tyres are not looking as good as the cars around him, as Stevie runs a bit wide through Spoon, and that's going to throw away his chance of having to go at Firepower unless he can have a killer draft like Intrepid's got on him up to 130R in the chicane. So Stevie there in the Rayburn Honda under pressure from the Denso Cabelco Lexus of Intrepid behind him as they go through 130R as Stevie has a massive slide through the corner, and Firepower holds on to third place for another lap and doing an incredible job so far. And Stevie will probably try and set himself up for turn 1 if he can, but I don't think he's close enough. Blake goes through on Keith into 8th place. Keith down to 9th now, so Keith moves down and Blake moves up. Bidster's the next target up ahead, heavy on weight, and tyres are not looking good. Further out we've got Jamo and Red Bull together there in a nice little battle down in 11th after Jamo's little incident he was caught spin earlier on. As Jamo defends the inside and Red Bull goes round the outside. Can he do a Kimi Raikkonen and go round the outside into turn 1? And he does! Brilliant move there by Red Bull round the outside. True class and good move there by the Autobax Honda, and Jamo just letting him go, running his own race, keeping it consistent, keeping it out of trouble. Meanwhile, back to the third place battle. Stevie still can't find a way past Firepower. Firepower showing absolute brilliance here in defence, and he's definitely come a long way as he goes a little bit wide there though. Oh, and Stevie gives him a little whack up the back end, and Stevie continues as Firepower rejoins the track. I'm sure there was some kind of contact there because of the way Firepower's car accelerated, unless he let go of the brake or something, but Firepower then finds himself back down in 6th, and Stevie takes a controversial 3rd, but we'll get a replay on that at the end and we'll see what happened there. But Intrepid then in 4th. Let's look further back. Bidster 7th with Blake with a little bit of a penalty there. Must have caught the inside of one of the Degners a bit too much. He's left himself with a little penalty, but never mind. Let's see what he can do with it. See if he can get rid of it. So let's look back to Bidster, Blake and Keith together now. Keith in the Raybrigg Honda, the second Raybrigg Honda, number 56, looking to try and get past Blake in the Motortech Nissan. He's getting rid of his penalty. He should get rid of the rest of it as they come into the chicane. And now you can see the speed difference as Blake has a massive twitch on the grass. Defends from Keith on the inside. No way through for Keith this time as he gets rid of the penalty, and good defence there from Blake. But Bidster, you just saw how vulnerable he were there on the straight with the weight penalty on. The Blake and Keith were catching him hand over fist. But hopefully we can see we'll be able to see some more action of that later on in the race. Oh, Darren's off! Turn 1, Darren spun round, gone wide, hit the AstroTurf, gone round, started making donuts. It pleases the crowd, but it doesn't please your tyres, and doesn't please your steering rack either, as he tries to get back on the track with the AstroTurf and finds himself now down in 9th place with Bert now right behind him, so the two brothers running close together. Keith now moves up to 8th, that moves everyone moves up a position, and Bidster with maximum weight on finds himself in 6th place now. Whether that's a good idea, because it will put him more weight on the car, because if he keeps scoring consistent points, it'll mean he's got more weight on the car. And also, with Techno being now last, that's really not going to help him, and Neil being further back, so Bidster might even find himself with maximum weight on in Suzuka, in the endurance race at Suzuka, so that could hurt him, but we'll see how it goes. But again, like they say, points mean prizes, so sometimes is it worth running the weight and just hoping for consistent results? So, because consistency is probably what's going to win this championship. So it's not all about the race wins, it's about being consistent with it as well. As Intrepid now putting the pressure on Stevie for 3rd place. So the Lexus closing up on the back of the Honda. The Honda's rear tyres starting to go, but also the Lexus's front tyres starting to go. There's Firepower in 5th, Bidster 6th with Blake and Keith right on his tail. Further back we've got Neil Farmack now. He's still ahead of Bradders, but Neil Farmack's tyres are not looking good. Bradders looking like he might be able to pass his teammate here and make up some places. We'll have to see how the Wakos crew handle this. Back to Stevie. He's still ahead of Intrepid. He's ahead of Intrepid now. Stevie ahead of Intrepid into 3rd place. There's everyone else: Bidster, Blake, and Keith. All together out the last corner. Did I just see someone spin there? No, it's right. It's my eyes with the cursors. So there goes Bradders in 13th with Darren right behind him now, wanting some retribution after the little mistake he made earlier. But look at the state of his front tyres, not looking good as we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Then Darren versus Bradders down to turn 1. Bradders defending a little bit there, and Darren not able to find a way through. And this time doesn't go wide at turn 1, which is good because it means he gets around turn 2 without any problems. Further up, there's Bidster now under pressure from Blake. Bidster versus Blake versus Keith. Remember, Bidster's got heavy on weight in this, so he's going to try and defend for all his life to get as many points as he can. But Blake and Keith, they'll be hungry for more points as well. So they're further down the championship. They really want to try and start climbing up the ladder on points. But Bidston needs to keep himself up near the top if he wants to have a chance of winning this championship. Blake then goes to the inside for the little king. Bidston will hold it around the outside into the hairpin, and where he gets the inside line. And Bidston holds on. Blake goes very, very wide, and that opens the door for Keith. But Blake went wide so he could get a good run out the corner. But Bidston's pulled out a little bit of a gap now. Meanwhile, Intrepid in 4th and Stevie in 3rd place, still trying to hold on to positions here. Intrepid still trying to catch Stevie as we got Blake and Keith side by side through Spoon, and a little bit of contact there. Blake ends up with a little penalty, I don't know why, but he's on the grass and he's off into the gravel. He's going to have to lift off now, and Keith then is released to have a go at Bidston now. So Keith now, it's his turn to have a go at Bids. As we go down to 130R, he doesn't bother to go for the overtake through here. That would be quite risky. Remember, it's all about timing it. As well, Bidston goes wide off the track, comes back on, hits the brakes. Luckily, he's got dirt on his tyres, but he just gets the car stopped. Only just. As Blake doesn't get the car stopped, he goes straight on and off onto the AstroTurf on the way out on the gravel, and there goes Bert on the outside, and Red Bull will probably have the momentum to go through as well. As he does so there, onto the last lap of the race we go here at Suzuka. Further back, Neil Farmack has got past Bradders, so he's they've swapped places. Oh, sorry, Neil Farmack's still in front of Bradders, sorry, beg your pardon. So seat 1 then leads the way as he goes underneath the bridge. He's a good 15 seconds plus ahead of the whole field. Incredible gap so far, and incredible pace so far by Seat. Just kept himself out of trouble and had pole position, got away with it. Everyone else were battling and just ran away. Then we've got Uncle in 2nd, Intrepid 3rd, Stevie in 4th. So Intrepid's in 3rd now. Stevie's now down to 4th, so they've swapped round. Stevie's got major tyre problems and he's spun! Stevie's spun round on the exit of the second Degner, and Firepower finds himself in 4th place now. Stevie gets going, he's got to try and fiddle around for a gear somewhere. Keith says, hello, what are you doing here? Yeah, you're supposed to be further up on podium. He says, Stevie says, I know, the car went round on me. But into the hairpin we go then, and could Keith find himself ahead of his teammate, because his teammate's tyres have had it. Bids to 7th, Red Bull now into 8th, ahead of Blake and Bert and Jamo, who are all closing up on this last lap. So it's all happened on this last lap now, but we've got to go back to the leader because he's already at the last chicane. Seat 1 is about to take victory for the Calsonic team. Well done to Seat 1, victory at Suzuka in the sprint race. Well done to Seek. Then we've got Uncle, who's going to be coming across the line in 2nd in the Autobacks Honda. Another good haul of points for him. And that could mean some more weight on his car in the next one, but we'll have to see how it goes with how everyone else finishes. Uncle will finish in 2nd place here in the Honda. Well done to him. Intrepid in 3rd in the Denso Cabelco Lexus. Well done to Intrepid, with Firepower taking a brilliant 4th place, his best position of the championship so far. Well done to Firepower, an excellent 4th, with Stevie coming home in 5th, just ahead of Keith and Bidster, who are together, and Keith hasn't. Keith's lost it! Keith's lost it on the line! Bidster goes through, and Red Bull gets 7th, Keith in 8th, Bert 9th, Jamo 10th, Blaney in 11th, Bradders 12th. Oh my word, it's all gone to pot. Then we got Darren 13th, Neil 14th, Bradders is going to be 15th. Oh, what a finish, and Techno all the way back in 16th. But Keith losing it on the last corner, has got a bit out of shape and lost control of the car, hit the grass, and that was it. But incredible finish there. We'll get some replays on that in a moment, but first of all, we'll get the replays in of the second half of the race, followed by the results. And now we have the replays of the second half of the race. And now here's a replay on board with Darren on lap 8. See there, Intrepid's got past Stevie into 130R. And then we go brake into the chicane. And then watch here as we go out the corner. Stevie gets a good exit of the corner. Intrepid's wheel spinning there, not getting the power down. Stevie gets alongside him, side by side down towards turn 1. But now we're going to stay on board with Darren and watch what happens to Darren here. We go into the first corner, see we're catching up in the draft. Stevie and Intrepid go on, fight into the corner, which Stevie gets ahead, but then Darren gets caught out by watching their battle and spins round himself. Round the car goes, and they've just got to find a gear, stops the car, and now everyone's going through, and he's got to just rejoin the track as safe as he can, and then the AstroTurf pulls him wide again, and then he rejoins down in 9th. And then just after we saw him rejoin, Darren goes and does that, and puts himself on the grass, and everyone goes through. He starts really rally crossing, and looks like once Darren loses it, he loses it multiple times, and we'll stick with him up the hill. As we go up and over the top of the hill, the next bit that's about to happen is a little bit surprising, because obviously he's still got dust on his tyres, whatever, but still he should have worn that off a little bit. But goes through Degner 1 okay, and into Degner 2, too hot, nose wide, into the gravel, and then goes down even more places. Neil and Bradders go through, and he's down in 14th. Not a good few corners for Darren. Okay, now here's a replay on lap 10, the penultimate lap of Blake's lap at half a lap of horror. As we go up towards Spoon Curves, he's on the inside, but then he just goes onto the grass. Bids to give him plenty of room, but just goes onto the grass. And now he's got dust on his tyres. Going around the outside, and it just sucks him onto the curb. And then he just goes wide again, and then just goes on the dirt again and has to give best to Keith. Now, if we quickly fast forward to the chicane, because he'll go back up at the chicane now. See, he's on the inside line, and that's from Scotty Blake, but that's not the racing line. And that's what happens when you don't take the racing line and you approach at the same speed as you would on the racing line. And that's what happens. You go wide, you lose speed, and you get passed by multiple people. And now here's a replay of how Stevie lost his third place to Intrepid, then going down towards turn 1. You see here, watch the Ray Brigonda as we go into the corner. Goes in, it's just a little bit too hot. Catches the curb, goes straight on, can't get the car turned, and then slides and goes down to 4th. And now Bidster just decided to copy what Stevie did. He went too hot into turn 1, went wide, Keith goes through, and Bidster ends up finding himself down in 7th after that. And now here's a replay on board with Bidster of Keith's moment on the line. See, he's just getting the power on, just has a massive twitch and twitches again, and the car goes round, and then Bidster and Rebel go through, and Keith ends up down in 8th. What a dramatic finish. And here's the final replay of the little battle between the Wackos cars on the last lap. See there, Bradders gets a good run on Neil Farmack. If you look at Neil Farmack's car, his tyres and front tyres are completely gone, and Bradders has gone through then into 12th, and now he's going to try and hold on to that as we come towards the chicane. So we go through 130R, the fast left. You can see there Neil Farmack's got big tyre trouble as Darren closes up to the back of his car as well. Into the chicane we go for the last time. He has a little look at Bradders, his teammate, but decides to let Bradders go. But we go out the corners here, the yellow flag from Keith's incident, and then we get going, and then we resume in that order. Neil Farmack, though, gets passed by Darren just on the line, and then Darren takes 13th. So we come back from the second half of the race replays, and now to the results. It is Seat 1 who takes a commanding victory by 18 seconds over Uncle in second place in the Honda, with Intrepid in third. Good podium for him. 4th for Firepower, season best for him in 4th. Stevie in 5th, with Bidster in 6th place. Close between them at the line as Red Bull gets ahead of Keith in 8th after his dramatic spin as we go over the page, with Bert in 9th place. Jamo in 10th in the Zent Lexus. Blake 11th. Bradders in 12th. We've got Darren in 13th, just ahead of Neil. Very close finish between them two in 14th. And we've got Rodders 15th and Techno down in 16th. Stevie gets the fastest lap of 1:49.8. So, as we come back from that then, your winner is Seek 1 after that dramatic finish there. Well done to Seek 1, a fantastic win for the Calsonic team in his Nissan there. Well done to him. So we will see you guys next time for race 2, which will be the endurance race around Suzuka. We'll see you then, guys. Take care. That was a brilliant race from Suzuka. We hope you all enjoyed that one, especially the finale at the end there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to LPB Racing also as well. And next time it's going to be race 2, the endurance race from Suzuka, and more action is on the way. Stay tuned, we'll see you then.